You need to learn this ethical principle. It may save your life or the life of someone you love. What's up, philosophical thinker? My name is Christopher. Welcome to the Philosophical Life. If this is your first time here and you want to think critically, believe confidently, and live courageously, then start now by clicking the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. By the end of this video, you'll recognize the importance of forming well-supported beliefs. This will help you form beliefs that you can have confidence in. As a professor of philosophy, I've helped tons of people think critically about important things, and I look forward to helping you do the same. Let's start with a scenario. Imagine this. A friend comes to you wanting to borrow your car. She's in a hurry. She needs to get to an interview. You happen to have your car and don't need to use it. But you noticed the other day that your tires were worn and super cracked. It occurred to you that your tires need replacing and it might not be safe to drive the car. But knowing that fixing the tires would be expensive and inconvenient, you sort of put those worries out of your mind. You convinced yourself sincerely that the car is totally safe to drive. So you give your friend the keys, she drives on the freeway at normal speeds. One of the tires blows out, causing her to lose control of the car. The car flips and rolls and unfortunately kills her. Question: are you guilty of the death of your friend? If you think guilty or not guilty, leave that in the comments below based on your initial thoughts about the case. Now, when you handed your friend the keys to the car, you sincerely believed the car was safe to drive, but you didn't believe that based on good evidence. You formed the belief by pushing aside your doubts. You formed the belief based on wishful thinking, desiring it to be true that the car is safe so you wouldn't have to buy tires. Now, what rule of forming good beliefs did you violate? William Clifford was a mathematician and philosopher living in the 19th century. In his essay, The Ethics of Belief, he proposes this rule or principle of belief formation. Quote, "It is wrong always, everywhere, and for anyone to believe anything on insufficient evidence." End quote. The story about your friend and the car is like a story Clifford tells in defending his principle. It's a story involving a ship owner. And here it goes. A ship owner was about to send to sea an immigrant ship. He knew that she was old and not over well built at the first, that she had seen many seas and climes, and often had needed repairs. Doubts had been suggested to him that possibly she was not seaworthy. These doubts preyed upon his mind and made him unhappy. He thought that perhaps he ought to have her thoroughly overhauled and refitted, even though this should put him at great expense. Before the ship sailed, however, he succeeded in overcoming these melancholy reflections. He said to himself that she had seen and gone through so many voyages and weathered so many storms that it was idle to suppose that she would not come home safely from this trip also. In such ways, he acquired a sincere and comfortable conviction that his vessel was thoroughly safe and seaworthy. He watched her depart with a light heart and benevolent wishes for the success of the exiles in their strange new home that was to be. And he got the insurance money when she went down mid-ocean and told no tales. Now, according to Clifford, quote, he was guilty of the death of those men. The sincerity of his conviction in no wise helped him because he had no right to believe on such evidence as was before him. Now, I know what you might be thinking. The ship owner was guilty of the death of the people because he had a false belief. He falsely believed his boat was seaworthy. It was not. You might think, as long as my beliefs are true, I'm ethically okay regarding the beliefs I hold. If so, good idea, but not quite right. Clifford changes the case in one way. Now, everything is before. The ship owner has good reasons to doubt the safety of his ship. He sets those good reasons aside and confidently believes the ship will make the trip. And it does. No one dies. Clifford now asks, quote, will that diminish the guilt of her owner? What do you think? Does the fact that luck intervened to make his belief true relieve the ship owner of wrongdoing? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Clifford thinks not, quote, "Not one jot. When an action is done, it's right or wrong forever. No accidental failure of its good or evil fruits can possibly alter that. The man would not have been innocent, he only would have been not found out," end quote. Love that quote. Clifford thinks the question of right or wrong is a matter of how you formed your belief, so its origin matters, not whether it ended up being true or false. The key question is, do you have a right to your belief based on the evidence you have? Returning to the ship owner, wanting to believe the ship was sound because believing otherwise would make him unhappy, prompt costly repairs, and so on, was a bad basis for his belief the ship was sound. He wished it to be true. The evidence didn't support it. Now this returns us to Clifford's principle and why you should care about it. If it's wrong, quote, "always, everywhere, and for anyone to believe anything on insufficient evidence," what is the ethical health of your belief system? Do you hold important beliefs out of comfort or tradition? Do you believe things despite the good evidence before you? Lastly, and most importantly, is holding beliefs on insufficient evidence a pattern in your life? Are you inclined to believe that way? If so, you may be putting yourself or the people in your life in risk of harm. Recall the case of sweeping aside your doubt about the safety of your tires? You've loaned your friends the keys, she got in it, got in an accident, and died? Well, situations like that may inadvertently expose you or others to risk because of the way you formed your beliefs. As you can see, Clifford's ethics of belief matters. If you care about having ethically healthy beliefs, or you care about not harming those you love, you'll care about whether you're inclined to decide and do things on the basis of beliefs supported by solid evidence or not. For videos on how to develop good belief-forming habits, check out my videos on the intellectual virtues. Click on one of the videos on the screen or get the links to the videos in the description below. Now next up in this series is William James's counter to Clifford. Stay tuned to take a leap of faith. Click the subscribe button and the bell icon to not miss a thing. As always, keep thinking critically, believing confidently, and living courageously. That is, keep living the philosophical life.